We begin in North Africa, where Egyptian authorities have detained another senior Muslim Brotherhood leader, Essam El-Arian. This is the latest arrest in a government crackdown against the Islamist movement. Egypt's Interior Ministry said Arian, the deputy leader of the Brotherhood's Freedom and Justice Party, was taken into custody from a residence in New Cairo, where he had been in hiding. Egypt television interrupted its early morning programming to announce his arrest. Local media circulated a photo of what they described as the moment he was arrested. The Muslim Brotherhood group was banned and many of its leaders have been detained and charged with inciting violence since the army, prompted by mass protests, deposed the Islamist President Mohamed Morsi in July. Let's now take a look at how Egypt's new military-backed authorities have cracked down on the Muslim Brotherhood leaders. It began with the arrest of Khairat al-Shater, who is considered the most powerful man in the organization. He was arrested in July during the military takeover, together with ousted President Mohamed Morsi. August saw the arrest of most of the organization's top leaders. Among them was Mohamed Badi, the Muslim Brotherhood's general guide, and in theory, its leading figure. On the same month, the Brotherhood's Arabic media spokesman Abdul Rahman Al-Bar was arrested. Soon after, the Secretary General of the Brotherhood's Freedom and Justice Party, Mohamed El-Beltagi, was detained in the suburb of Giza. In September, security officers arrested Gehad Al-Haddad, a senior official who handled the group's communication with the foreign news media. Still in September, former Member of Parliament Amir Zaki, a prominent Muslim Brotherhood leader, was arrested in New Cairo, while Hamdi Zahran, a professor and former MP, was arrested in his hometown of Beni Suef. In October, Egypt requested Interpol to arrest Brotherhood's Mahmoud Azad, who is the deputy supreme guard. He is yet to be arrested. There are arrest warrants for a dozen other leaders, but they still remain on the run. Well, let's get more now from CCTV's Adel Mahroui. He's joining us live from Cairo. Adel, give us more details on Essam El-Arian's arrest. What has been the reaction there?
Well, basically the arrest, according to a statement by the spokesman of the Interior Ministry, came for quite a time. They say that they have been following Dr. Arian and trying to arrest him for several months, and he has been moving around in 8 governorates of Egypt. They say that he has been always in good disguise, and they never decided to take the decision to arrest him unless they were sure that he was at a specific location. So he has been arrested in northern Cairo, in a new established city on the outskirts of the capital of Egypt. They say that there has been no, he has surrendered immediately once they have surrounded the building that he was stationed in. On the other hand, there have been a lot of reactions publicly and particularly from the Muslim Brotherhood supporters. In one statement, his daughter, Essam El-Arian, has said that they were expecting that their fathers will eventually be arrested. The police have stormed their own house 3 times looking for her father, Dr. El-Arian. And they say that they believe they are on the right track, and this is what is happening in Egypt, according to her, is that everyone on the right path is being arrested.
Adel, Arian's arrest comes as some judges in the trial of Muslim Brotherhood leaders have quit. How will this impact the legal proceedings?
Well, first of all, it will definitely affect it in terms of time progress. So there will be a delay until the judicial authorities would assign a new panel for this case. And once a new panel is assigned, it means that the trial will start from the beginning once again. There hasn't been a lot lost or a lot of progress in the first trial. Both sessions that have been held never witnessed the presence of the defendants themselves for security purposes, because the court was held in downtown Cairo, a crowded area where there's a lot of threats of possible protests or rallies happening anytime, and the authorities did not want to risk the attempt to break in and try to make the defendants flee. Therefore, this also means that there will be more preparations for the case when a new panel is assigned. A more secure location should be appointed. We still don't know whether this will be either the police academy or former President Hosni Mubarak is being trialed, or the new court that is being currently under construction at the Tura prison facility, where President Mohamed Morsi will be trialed on November 4th. But overall, we know that this will elongate the judicial trial for the leaders, and it will take more time for them to reach a final verdict, as well as because there are many trials that are still being filed against them.
All right, Adel Mahroui, live for us there from the Egyptian capital, Cairo. Thank you for joining us. Gun battles have broken out in Mozambique between government forces and the armed wing of former rebel movement Renamo. These skirmishes in central Sofala province are raising fears of renewed civil war. CCTV's Guy Henderson has been following the army's advance and filed this exclusive report.
Offering talks, but continuing the offensive. This is Renamo's heartland, now the front line as the military tracks down a scattered rebel force. We're taken to the forward positions, a perimeter warily secured by Mozambique's elite commando unit. Fighters, we're warned, are still hiding nearby, driven from a base they'd held since the Civil War more than 20 years ago. Now on Monday, the Renamo flag would have been flying from this flagpole, but then the Mozambican Special Forces moved in to secure the area. In their haste, the Renamo fighters that were staying here left valuable equipment behind them, live bullets and a message saying peace. The commander tells us that is their aim, but amongst the debris, a Kenyan passport. Its photo, we're told, that of Renamo's elusive leader Alfonso Dacama, though under a different name. They're close. On our way back, we pass civilian homes burnt to the ground. All residents around here have fled. As evening sets in, we return to camp when soldiers come under fire. This outgunned guerrilla force may fight on, but the army appear to be in control. Guy Henderson, CCTV, Meringue, Mozambique.
Well, let's take a quick break here on Africa Live, straight ahead. Promoting tourism, why 200 bikers are taking a ride to the Egyptian pyramids.
We follow the latest trends in global politics, economics, culture and sport, and how Africa fits into the global picture. You decide what's important.
We need a trade passport.
Africa's future will be determined by Africa.
For women's equal opportunity, for a better life.
We have to change something, and it's not the outsiders.
Talk Africa, a new voice for the world.
Let's take you to Beijing, where police are now calling the Tiananmen car crash an organized, premeditated terrorist attack. The spokesperson of the Beijing Municipal Public Security Bureau said 5 suspects have been arrested. According to an initial police investigation soon after the incident, the car had a Xinjiang registered driving plate, and gasoline-filled devices, knives and iron bars were found inside, as well as flags displaying a religious extremist slogans. Now, Monday's deadly car crash in the capital's Tiananmen Square killed 5 people and injured 40 others. For the investigations are still underway. Here in Kenya, at least 10 people have been confirmed dead after a minibus packed with passengers collided with a train at one of the suburbs in the capital, Nairobi. Police and Kenya Red Cross officials say 21 people have been admitted to hospitals with injuries. The accident that occurred shortly before 7 a.m. on Wednesday, Traffic Commander Samuel Kimaru said those injured were rushed to various hospitals in Nairobi. Witnesses say the accident occurred when the driver of the bus tried to cross the railway line, ignoring repeated horn warnings from the oncoming train. The commuter train dragged the 33-seater vehicle almost 25 meters from the intersection before coming to a halt. In Niger, 4 French hostages kidnapped by Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb 3 years ago have been released. Pierre Legrand, Daniel Laribe, Thierry Doll and Marc Ferrer were kidnapped by Akim in September 2010, while working for French nuclear energy group Hariba in Erlit. Niger chief negotiator and former Tuareg rebel leader Mohamed Akute has been praised for spearheading the successful negotiations. The conditions of the release were not immediately clear. French Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius denied his government had paid any ransom. The men are expected to travel back to France early on Wednesday. In other news, across the continent, the UN Security Council has given the go-ahead for 250 blue helmets to be sent to the Central African Republic to protect a UN political mission. The landlocked, mineral-rich nation of 4.6 million people has slipped into chaos since northern rebel group Seleka seized the capital Bangui and ousted President Francois Bozizé in March. The African Union plans to deploy a 3,600-strong peacekeeping mission in the country, but the force is unlikely to be operational before 2014. Meanwhile, the mastermind behind a plot to assassinate former South African President Nelson Mandela and drive blacks out of the country has been sentenced to 35 years in jail. This is the heaviest possible jail term. Mike Dutoit, the ringleader of a white supremacist militia called BOMAG, was being tried alongside 4 other defendants over the botched 2002 coup that left a woman dead and dozens injured. Several of the men were freed because they had already served their jail term. And finally, Egypt's foreign ministry says dozens of Egyptians believed to be illegal migrants are still missing in the eastern Libyan desert. The ministry spokesman, Badr Abdullah Ati, said the first word of the Egyptians came from a shepherd who had spotted the group earlier this week and notified the Libyan authorities. One of the migrants has been rescued by helicopter. 2 bodies were also recovered, with dehydration the likely cause of death. On the occasion of 110 years of Harley-Davidson, the Harley-Davidson Egypt division launched an initiative to promote tourism into the country by gathering more than 200 bikers for a ride to the pyramids. CCTV's Yasser Hakim was there.
You can tell a Harley biker anywhere, with their famous black jackets, their gear and shining expensive bikes. In Egypt, they are a growing community.
We meet every Friday, very early in the morning because of traffic in Cairo. And then every 45 days, every 1 month, we go out for a long journey or a long trip. If you're a new rider, there is a guy who in the chapter takes care of you, and he introduces you to the community, and then he starts riding with you, and you get into the group gradually, and you get introduced step by step, and then you integrate.
Harley bikers were known in the past for being a gangster-like rebellious group that enjoys breaking the rules. Now the prices of these bikes range from $20,000 to $60,000 in Egypt, and so the owners are quite a different breed with a different image.
I think that this image we were talking about was in the 70s and the 60s. I think nowadays it changed completely, and you can find businessmen, CEOs, vice presidents, presidents of big companies. They managed to change the look of what you were talking about, these groups, these gangs, and into a riding community, which is family-oriented.
Biking has become an expensive hobby.
The Harley bikers don't just go biking for fun, but they also feel they have a moral duty towards the country. And that's why they've gathered here more than 200 bikers at 8 in the morning in front of the pyramids.
They were joined by others, the Hondas, the Ducatis, the BMWs and more, in an initiative to help promote the tourism industry in Egypt.
We decided to do something different for the parade, and instead of just having a parade, we decided to do it for the love of Egypt.
A huge convoy of motorbikes roamed through the streets of Cairo. They stopped at the foot of the Grand Pyramids of Giza, took pictures, had a rest, and moved back to the 6th of October city.
We are gathering here today to show the whole world that they have to come, and they have to enjoy their time, and they have to have amusement, and everything is going fine.
It's for charity and also for the tourism, to tell everybody all over the world that Egypt is safe.
The bikers hope this initiative is repeated every month, with the revenue allocated to a different charity organization every time. Bikers, it seems, are not always as rough or gangly as they look. Yasser Hakim for CCTV, Cairo.
Let's get a snapshot of what's happening in the world of business. Rama is here with that.
Thank you very much, Benina. Here's what's coming up on business.